Hi, good evening, Mr. Calabro and Supervisors. My name is Cherry Peters, and I'm a resident of Newtown Borough. And I'm here this evening with some of my neighbors from State Street, Sycamore Street, Edgeboro Drive, Jefferson Avenue, Congress Street, Federal Lane, Frost Lane, some local business people, some borough council members, and church members who live near and around the Green Parrot on Sycamore Street in Newtown Township to revisit the issue of the Irish Festival. Most of you are aware of our issues from the Board of Supervisors meetings from April the 12th and November the 8th of 2017 and emails you've received. Tonight we're addressing our main issue of the Green Parrot's Irish Festival and what we endured last year, which was the loud music with pounding bass that lasted for 4 days for 10 hours each day. A good example is, imagine a car driving by your house playing loud music, very loud music, and you hear that pounding bass. And then that car parks in front of your house for 4 days. That's actually what we endured last year, and it was not pleasant, and it's a quality of life issue. How can we keep that music, which was mostly rock bands, at a reasonable decibel level when it's coming from a tent? Barriers and such may help a little, but it's still a tent. There are other events in Newtown: Welcome Day, Market Day, the car show, the beer fest. There's the Christmas parade with festivities, Halloween parade with festivities, but they're all one-day events. A one-day St. Patrick's Day celebration seems the norm for most towns and establishments. There are other issues with the festival: traffic congestion, road closures, detours, extra ambulance and fire protection, need for crowd control, extra police both from the township and the borough, safety issues, blocked fire hydrants. But the main concern in our neighborhood is the loud music with pounding bass. The code enforcement officer, Mr. Vogt, granted the Green Parrot a 2-day festival permit for this year. We were pleased to hear of this compromise. Compromise is always good. Something we asked for last year. But now the Green Parrot is advertising a 4-day event. This is a big concern. We have a church nearby who could not hear their services last year because of the noise and lost their parking for their parishioners. A local veterinary hospital could not hear the heartbeats of their patients, and the loud music upset their animals just as much as it upsets our neighborhood. The Green Parrot claims to work with the community, but this doesn't seem the way to achieve that. They do not seem respectful of our concerns with the loud music and noise. We ask you once again, as supervisors of Newtown Township, to reconsider the terms of this special events permit and consider less days. Consider 1 day only, and a way to keep the music and noise at a reasonable decibel level for this year and for any future festivals. Why is the Green Parrot allowed to disrupt our town for 4 days? We all want to live, work, and worship in Newtown in an amicable way. Please help us to achieve this. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day, not days. Thank you.
My name is Bob Lutz, and I guess I'm going to address Mrs. Peters and the board. And congratulations, board, on your new appointees, and wish you much success. Couple things that we wanted to go over. The background was a little bit of surprise when we were called in and said it was reduced from 4 days to 2. as we've operated for 8 years under 4 years, with the ability to put up the tent, the infrastructure, everything is included, extra bathrooms, extra security, and Newtown doesn't pay anything to this. We pay the cost for the cops. We pay the cost for the undercover cops, which I also have as well. So all the security that we've had, we haven't had any incidents, all right? So we appreciate the opportunity to come here and, bring out the facts. We're trying to turn around and embrace this thing. It's been a good thing for Newtown. It is really, people recognize Newtown, and I do believe it's one of the things that has brought new businesses to Newtown, such as Harvest, such as Rocco's. I know them stories for years. When we were working on the Parrot, we were dealing with them. They've seen an opportunity that we've created, and they've embraced it. And it's a great town, great people, and we've went without incident for 8 years. So I think the cops have always commented how well and behaved everybody is. Why the decision should be reconsidered. We've operated for 8 years without incident. We do everything that the PLCB and Newtown Township asks. I've also, when I talked to Mrs. Peters last year, I expressed to her that I hear your concerns and I will work diligently to try to correct some of the things you might have a problem with. One of the things that I brought in is First Class Entertainment, which is Nick Casano, and I'll give you the letter. Nick is the person that controls the sound at Wildwood for Westies. They're very, very knowledgeable in sound decibel levels. Wildwood has a strict decibel level, very similar to Newtown. So Nick said, you tell the township to tell you what decibel level you have to be at. We will create a logbook and we will keep the sound. He will redirect the speakers, he will monitor the sound, and make sure that State Street will not hear the sound, and he will even go down to State Street and take decibel reading levels there. This was for a tune of $5,000 to bring him in to do that. So we are concerned of your concerns, and we are trying to be proactive on this. So I have this letter right here. It brings 2,500 people estimated a day to the festival, to which they see other businesses, they see other stores. The spillover effect that Joe from Sycamore Grill, that the saloon, that Gabe, even though he might not admit it, the saloon, we can only get so many people in our place. So there was a supervisor that actually turned around and said, I had to take my kids over there. He says, Bobby, I can't wait 2 hours. I got to take them over. And they went over and got pizza at Gabe's. Wonderful. See the other stores. Not everybody's going to stay in the tent for all that time. So they walk around. And you know what? Just because they might spot a store and they come back 6 months later, 2 weeks later, because it's such a charming town. There's such a thing as detrimental reliance too, where we have been working on this for 360 days, and we already have contractual obligations and commitments that we already did, and then all of a sudden, 40 days into it, we have to change our plans and alter it. It has not been committed to 4 days, but the advertisement was already out there with WIP Radio, which also promotes Newtown Irish Festival, not the Green Parrot. So it promotes that through TV advertisement, radio advertisement, billboard advertisement, and such. So it's been a great hit for Newtown. It's become a tourist destination, and believe me, the phone rings off the hook. The last couple days when Joe Conklin went out there and said what was going on, the phone has been ringing. Just to kind of contradict what was said, generally when we go Thursdays, we start at 6 o'clock and end at 10. It's a 4-hour deal on Thursday. Friday is the same way. We start at 6, end at 10. Okay? Saturday's a little bit different, but they have the graces of everybody's approval to run that 5K, which is always advancing, which is a Newtown company. And they got approval from the borough and the township and everything else. And that starts a little bit earlier. but there again, ends at 10. On Sunday, it ends at 9, okay? And doesn't start till 1. So you go 4 hours, 10 hours, and then you go 6 hours or 8 hours on Sunday. So the hours are not as dramatic as what they are, but I do believe that the sound issues are going to be curbed with this sound company, with the speaker realignment, and with the tent company putting a prefab in back of the tent. Like I said, we're hearing your concerns, and when I talked to them last year, I said, look, you have my phone number. Please call me. I'm trying to be proactive. I will work with you. I'm not trying to be a bad neighbor, okay? I'm trying to make sure that I draw people to Newtown and they have a fun time and they see what everybody has to offer. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. That's the deal. So we're trying to make sure that everybody shares in what we do. We have a lot of affiliations during the time. There are a lot of charities involved. Council Rock sports programs. We're also involved with the special needs program. We have them in our place working with us Tuesday through Friday. The ILS, the LLS programs. Newtown Business Association, Lower Bucks County Chamber of Commerce, Bucks County Economic Development. We're all involved in these deals, and we give back to the community. And this is the first year we actually did a sponsorship with Newtown Theater. I don't know too many people that have actually sponsored in the borough from the township. I wasn't there for the Civil War, but we are trying to bridge that gap because I want them to be successful too. I want Rocco's to be successful. I want Harvest to be successful. There was 5 restaurants on one corner and down the shore. They all did business because there was traffic, okay? So that is the reason why we're doing it. I have a letter besides the sound engineer that we'll give to you from the Bucks County Tourism, which told me the other day that they were really disappointed that it was reduced from 4 days to 2 days. Because that is one of their big things that they promote. And they promote it out on Street Road, the Newtown Irish Festival. And they said we get a lot of hits and a lot of people calling about it. And if I may, I'll give this to Phil. So we've had, it's certainly out there. We've certainly built that brand. We worked hard at it. We will continue to search for ways that everybody will be appeased and there isn't any problems. And we will continue to turn around and make sure that it is a safe environment for families. Yesterday, I got 4 different Irish dance groups calling to book their time so they can dance. It is not for just adults. It is for your families. And anybody that's come there with their families has enjoyed a very nice St. Patrick's Day. One day is kind of ridiculous for us to go through the infrastructure and pay for everything. You can't make it go. We're businessmen. We're small businessmen. And as you people know, Newtown kind of dries up in June through September. So it's very tough for a business like ourselves to make it during that time. So you look for these economic boosts during the course of time. And if you don't recognize it, all you have to do is see some of the stores that are out. We are trying, and we want to be a good neighbor, and I want to bring business to Newtown. And my phone is always on. My door is always open for anyone that wants to turn around and add me any type of advice or any type of way I should do this when we're going to appease people. So I wish you would reconsider your decision. And I'm sorry you feel the way you do, but the bar restaurants were voted in and they're here. And we will adhere to the guidelines of what the PLCB and the township gives us, and we have done that. So I appreciate you hearing me, my thoughts, and I respectfully remain. Thank you.